For more info on the topic, focus, and guest of the episode, please check the description below. Please enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Inky Thoughts podcast. Today, I have the honor of having my favorite weather girl in the world on the podcast. And before you're wondering why is that, let me first get into the topic bit. I couldn't think of a better person to continue the newly started sub-series of Reclaiming the Self with. Talking to somebody who's known for being, to put it bluntly, judged for their appearance in a sense on social media and being quite proud of their tattoos and all that at the same time, everything like that. Before I ramble on too much, I will get my guests to do stuff, but that's exactly why I wanted to talk to them. There's so much attention lauded, especially against women, that it's interesting to know how they can anchor their identity, for example, through tattoos. But before I ramble on too far, please, Missy, would you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Missy. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I like to talk about the weather, and I like to insult people back with making funny costumes.
I mean, yeah, that is quite a good description because that's at least the main two reasons I first ever messaged you, because I couldn't help but I had a laugh out loud moment watching, I think, one of your very first times you put on your story, your, to say the least, enthusiastic weather forecasts.
Yeah.
And I messaged you about this is fucking funny. It really helped my mood, and we sort of got chatting a bit. But also then started to notice, some of the incredibly funny satirical videos you've done where you dress up as what people have called you on the internet, which I think is a brilliant way of getting back at some of the hate many women and especially many tattooed women seem to face online these days.
Yeah, typically. I mean, like, people are going to hate, right? And people are going to hate on people's success. And like, I feel like, especially with outfits inspired by what people call me on the internet, like, they're going to say or throw shit at the wall and hope something sticks. And I feel they're just trying to get under your skin. So I've like developed a way to like basically take that insult, own it, and then kind of throw it back in their face as like a clap back. It's like I dress up like the piece of shit emoji, because people call me like a piece of shit. So it's like, okay, I'm a piece of shit. Like, now what? Like, it's like, what purpose does it fulfill in your life by calling me these names? So I feel like taking the power back and taking the power out of the word is like the best way to go about it.
Absolutely, that's exactly what at least that's what I get out of you watching your videos as well. I'm not the type of guy who would do that sort of stuff, but that's exactly why I love it. Also, very biased as a sociologist who loves to push it back against prejudice and shit like
Yeah.
that. It's fucking great to see someone be like, "All right, you called me what was it? Somebody might have called. I don't know all the vernacular from the US, even though I know many people from the US, but for example, somebody called you chicken legs or something like that, and you
Yes.
dressed up in a chicken costume. That's absolutely brilliant. And did you? I can't recall if this sort of true or not, but did you also dress up as a school desk because somebody commented like you look like a school desk with the tattoos? I can't remember if that's you or somebody else, but that's a brilliant one as well.
On outfits inspired by, I've dressed up like trash, like a trash can. I've done Gumby. I've done string bean. I've done clown. Piece of shit, old. Yes, I did do chicken legs. Which one else did I do? I did. There's like four episodes to that whole series that I did because like there's so much
Great.
shit to be thrown at me, and I think women in general on the internet, like it doesn't matter how much you try and justify your innocence and like how cool you are as a personality. It's like people will take one look at you and be like, "Oh, that I don't like that. I don't like her face." Like or
That's a lot of it with the inbuilt misogyny in our society at an international level. For example, the one you mentioned there would haven't been called old.
yeah.
I'm 2 years older than you, and whenever I call myself old, people are quick to be like, "No, you're not old. You're just 35." It's just like, yeah, but if I was a woman, most people would be like, "Oh yeah, you're getting up there. You better start taking care of yourself," something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's very much generalizing, but I thought of that as soon as when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this woman's I think quite a few couple of years younger than me. She's
Listen, it's
called
probably
old."
the Gen Zs that are calling me old, which is fine. Like
Yeah,
I call
I
myself an
hope.
old
I
lady. Like,
fucking hope so. I fucking hope so.
yeah. Like I go to festivals and events, and like I turn into a pumpkin by 9 p.m. Like I feel old. I'm an old lady. So own that shit.
I can't even go to festivals anymore. Yeah, fuck it. But yeah, but it's I do love not jumping ahead a bit. The idea of it as well that which I think tattoos do the same thing to some extent, and we'll get more into that in a bit. But as you said, you're sort of taking ownership of it and being like, okay, you can't harm me because yeah, you told me this, but I don't care. Like, and you show that through your
Yeah.
satire that, like, yeah, sure, you can have that opinion, but it's sort of in a roundabout way shows that you know your own self worth, which is an amazing thing to achieve, to be honest, for
Yeah.
anybody. By being like, yeah, tell me that. I'll just use it as humor. Like, I'll just make a skit out of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing, it's like you're just giving me more ammo and more inspiration to keep going because whatever I'm doing, it's working. Whatever I'm doing, it's clearly getting you to engage or comment or tell me like that you hate me. And it's like, well, I must be doing something right for you to react that way. And instead of reacting like trying to defend myself, I'm like, okay, so then what, Like we live in a fucked up world as it is, the least we can do is just be nice to each other on the internet. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. You do make that comment does make me miss some of the old internet, as some would say, where it seemed like there was less of that at times.
yeah, yeah.
But
So,
but it I still is quite impressive because yes, as you said, there are some that would or sort of hint at there are some that would go out and try very eloquently, which I think is also great when they do, and defend or explain something or call out who did it. But I also love that some will, like yourself, would do it with humor as well, because I think every single version of it is needed. Because some will teach you, okay, yeah, here's the thing, or here's what they're actually saying, so you can reflect on that. And then we have something like you that shows that, well, yeah, but you can also remember to laugh at them, like because
yeah.
that's the thing, like it's their insecurity. I think this is something that happens with tattoo hate, and which, to put it mildly, when you look at it from a sociological perspective, women face much more hate from that, which often also stems from the way we sort of instill entitlement in a lot of people regarding women's bodies
Hmm.
already. So when you go out and ruin your femininity, as I'm sure you've been told as well at some point,
Oh, yeah.
you you somehow cause these Neanderthals fence, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas the evolved position would be, oh yeah, sure, not my type, but you go, girl, like you go get that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I think women, like, as a whole, like, we face so much backlash as is. It's just like adding tattoos is just one more thing, right? Like, we're never skinny enough, or we're too fat, or like our boobs aren't big enough, or we're too skinny. Like, there's always something that's never perfect. And when you add tattoos to the equation, that's just like an easy target. Like I've been told that my
But
tattoos are trashy, and it's like, I promise you, like, my like I didn't get tattooed to impress you, like that was the last thing on my mind. So if you don't like my tattoos, then
uh,
just move the fuck on.
yeah. But
But
my point exactly, and you would have loved. I think I will say in their defense, it was for Danish TV, and they asked me this very innocently, like from a very innocent, ignorant position. But they asked me like, "Well, don't you want other people to see them? Don't you get them so other people see them?" And I just sat there, sociologist, be like, technically, no. I mean, yes, it's part of it that we want some people maybe to see them, but we do it for us.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
most people that get a lot of tattoos do it first and foremost for yourself.
yeah. Listen, I got tattoos because I want to look really cool when I'm dead. Like really cool in my coffin when they have a
I
showing.
love
Like
that.
I just want to look like the hardest bitch in the place.
Except for looking apparently to some people brittle and like you could break.
Right?
But other than that, super hard. Apparently would like
Yeah, one of these just like in my coffin, just like
yeah.
great.
You probably have a good chance of reviving if they did the makeup too like happy go lucky
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
normie
for
time.
sure.
Like not like sorry.
I'd come back and haunt everybody.
Give me that fucking eyeliner. But on that note of what you mentioned there with the twos, like you didn't get them to impress others and you didn't get them for other people. Very good segue, honestly. So thank you for that. To one of my questions I can't help but ask, honestly, the only one I always get to on my list. What actually got you into tattoos in the first place? When did you start getting into them?
So I think it's as a child, like I've been naturally attracted to them.
Mhm.
My dad had tattoos. He wasn't like heavily sleeved like I was, but I remember he had like a dragon that like was from here to here. And I remember seeing my dad's tattoo and I was like, oh, I want to be tattooed one day. And
Nice.
You, like I looked up to my father like he was like my role model. He was my everything, and he was like everything I wanted to be. Like I'm a huge daddy's girl, and
Yeah.
so that just was right off the bat something that I was just naturally like, oh, those are cool, you know. And then
Yeah.
all throughout like my growing up years, like I've done runway modeling, I've done like, you know, still
Mm.
photography. Like I was always told to like be like that clean girl, girls next door, you know, kind of a thing. And I just like realized that I just wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't like feeling like I was truly like being myself, you know, because I wanted to be heavily tattooed and wear all black and like have heavy makeup. But like
Yeah.
the modeling industry and what they wanted you to be at the time,
Oh yeah, especially back then. I mean,
yeah, man, like you had to be like a certain height, you had to be like a certain hair color or like no hair dye at all. Like just, there was so many like rules and laws to become like a professional model. So I was always told that like I can't get tattoos. And then by the time I think I was like 21, I was like, fuck it. Like I'm so tired of like
nice.
living, I was like living this fake identity that didn't feel like me, you know? And so then I started getting
Well,
tattooed.
that's exactly part of my point, and what I wanted to talk to you about. I mean, I must have a sixth sense for this, probably my sociological background, but that's exactly why I wanted to talk to you because I could sort of tell that a bit from how you talk about yourself and when and in some sincere moments you've had as well on your social media, and that it's that whole thing of like you've literally textbook of what some sociologists would say reclaimed your sense of self. You've said, hey, fuck the norms, fuck these pressures to conform and to be a certain way, and you guys telling me, oh, if you want to do this, I have to look this way. It says that I want to be covered in tattoos. That's how I find myself most attractive. That's
Yeah.
how I like myself the best. So I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, 1000%. Like I used to work for Hooters um, when I was 18, 19, 20-ish. And when I worked for Hooters, that like, well, that really taught me how to have like really thick skin. But same ordeal.
Yeah.
Like I was having to be like this happy-go-lucky, picture ready, like just having this fake face on all the time. And
Yeah.
without the tattoos, I just didn't feel like I was being authentic. So once I left that place, it was like probably like 3 months after I got fired from Hooters, I was like, I'm getting tattooed. And then one turned into,
Nice.
and at first I just wanted to start with one sleeve. I was like, I just want one sleeve. And then I finished that one up and I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to get a second sleeve. And then it just kind of grew from there. So,
I mean, that's the thing of, and I always like to make this point when I can. So thank you for this. But the thing is, I've said at one point that I wanted just three tattoos as well. So I know how you're feeling, but I think if people understand the idea of being addicted, because that takes away agency. I'm not addicted. I want to be covered. That's a plan. That's something I'm actively working towards. It's not because I can't stop myself. But
yeah,
the thing is, when you start getting tattooed, before that, before you start, you're like a bit apprehensive because it's nerve-wracking. You're changing your body permanently.
yeah,
No matter how into it you are, that's gonna make you nervous and a bit, ooh, am I gonna like it? So before that, I think to protect yourself a bit, most people make plans of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a sleeve, or I'm gonna get both my arms done, I'm gonna have like three tattoos, I might do the chest just. But when you get it and you then realize, oh, I actually like being tattooed, that
yeah,
goalpost just goes directly to the other side, you know.
yeah.
And then the more you figure out how tattooed you like being, the more the goalpost will move, you know.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah. And I think like just like I've always had a lot of piercings as a kid too. You know, like I've had, you know,
Oh,
snake bites, I've had angel bites, I've had like my nose, my ears, like I've had a lot of piercings and I liked the feeling of like that adrenaline rush, you know, and like getting like a new tattoo or a new piercing, like you feel
yeah.
like just more badass, you know? So yeah. So on top of the fact that like pain doesn't really affect me like that, I just liked the way that it started to look and make me
Okay, that's
feel.
the most metal thing you've said ever, honestly. Pain doesn't really affect me like that. I mean, I can't take that. Pain affects me quite a great deal. I
Yeah.
can talk my way out of it. I'll talk so much I start just being numb and just taking it, but I
Yeah.
feel it. It definitely affects me. So
Yeah. Yeah. I have a I like pain. But I also like know that the
it's
outcome is going to be so much sweeter, right? Like I
yeah,
know that
sure. Yeah,
it's a
of course that
temporary
helps
hurt.
too.
Say
But the
what?
way you said I like pain, I mean, if that's not gonna be clipped by somebody online,
Yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I mean.
Someone else
No, no,
will.
I'm not going to
Someone
do
else will.
it. The whole can't come from inside the house on this. It has to be somebody else.
Yeah,
But
pain brings you pleasure.
I'm not going to say on what side of the scale I am there. People can guess.
Yeah.
I will say though, I'm not unrelated related to pain and pleasure in that way. But there's a thing you pointed out there, which is quite great because I think it's a good point to get across as well, which is piercings can indeed do the same, even though tattoos do it way more because of the customization and the art aspects of it and the uniqueness of them often. Piercings do that too. It's still a way of reclaiming the body. It's a way of taking ownership of your physical representation of who you see yourself as in here.
Yeah.
Even and especially with piercings, they have the great benefit of like they're easier to, in some cases, easier to change around or do something else with, or heal over time if you don't want them anymore. But they can still have the effect, even though they're less permanent than tattoos to some
Yeah.
extent, you know. So
Yeah.
it's a great point to point across. Also, another fun fact, and ask any tattooed woman, any audience members that watches or listens to this, ask any tattooed woman this politely, I beg you.
Yeah.
But piercings and tattoos, two things that'll get any douchebag to try and chat up a woman with the did it hurt? Or like, do you like pain? Or the list goes on.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like we we as tattooed women, we can sit through hours of pain, like
Mm.
we can handle like the healing process. Like it's just, yeah, tattooed women are probably honestly like I I've noticed that also in the tattoo community, like the heavily tattooed ones are like the
Yeah.
sweetest people. Like I know that
Yeah,
like a lot of like
absolutely.
stigma and stereotype behind like being tattooed of like, they're scary or like they're bad people or they've done time in prison. Like, oh, that was another one. I've been told that I look like I've done time in prison because of my
Yeah, no, I
tattoos.
remember that one now that you said it. Yeah, but that's yeah,
Y-
fucking. I've
Yeah.
been told that as well. I'm like, I have a master's degree.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, I went no.
I'm not saying I couldn't people to prison with a master's degree. Some probably have, but it seems weird that you first want to assume I went to prison.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, the assumption is that okay. Yeah. People in
But I'll say to
assumptions.
digress a moment, I think you and your friend group, Molly Hammonds, Mars, people like that, you're doing quite a lot to try and change this image by very openly being yourself and in your own, each your own way, advocating for pushing back against these stereotypes towards tattooed people and especially tattooed women. I mean,
Yeah. I think now today, like in 2025, like tattoos have such like they've become so acceptable, like everyone has tattoos now. Whereas like back then, like 20 years
ooh,
ago, like couldn't get tattooed and have like a
I
full-time job.
wish. I mean, of course, a lot has changed. Obviously, especially compared to when you and I grew up in the 90s and stuff like that. A lot has changed. And it is definitely improved. But I will say, as a sociologist, far from everybody accepting it. Far from it. And of course, it can give a wrong impression because, especially you living in California, it's one of the more accepting places on the planet of tattoos. So
That's true.
that can sort of skew the immediate impression you get from who you meet and how many you see employed that have tattoos. Same if you go to the UK, I lived in Scotland, they are a lot more accepting of difference generally and diversity generally than England is, for example.
Yeah.
So if you only judged it from Scotland, if you went to the UK, where only 5 million out of the 60 something million population live, you'd be like, wow, you fuckers love tattoos, man. And yeah, a lot of English people are tattooed as well, but not in the same way. And there's definitely a difference in like, oh, how visible are they when they work, for example, in your restaurant or in your bank or wherever, you know. And
Yeah.
as I don't know if you saw, but I had an article out, not first time I ever brag about anything of that sort of, but in England where I talked to two scientists and academics, and there's still it depends on what you work in as well, because they face a lot of it. I mean, these are very heavily tattooed people. Some would face tattoos as well, even though they're highly functioning medical professionals or academics, but they still face it. They still have people being like, "Oh, are you really smart enough then? Or can you really do this? Or we don't know if you can have this position or sort of that." So I think, much like with how it does for us personally when we start getting tattooed, that the goalpost has sort of moved, which is
Yeah.
great, but it's far from, we can't say yet that the stigma's totally gone. I'm sorry to digress so much. It's just a massive pet peeve of mine how people sadly sometimes get the impression, which can be damaging, that like, oh, it's gone, it's fully gone. It's just not, and it should be.
Yeah.
Absolutely should be. That's what we can agree on. It seems fucking weird to be like, oh, you want to decorate your skin? Well, fuck you then.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like, well, my body, my choice. So,
Yeah, I mean, couldn't agree more on that one in every aspect of it. But that's the weird thing of it is to me, and I think you will recognize this as well. This might relate to a lot of things. We'll, if you still want to talk about, we'll talk about it as well. But I do want to make sure you're okay with it because it's quite personal to you. But it's simply like when I look at other things people choose to do that are
Mhm.
harming yet means very little for their sense of self. And it could be something as silly as driving to work is more harmful to you than getting tattooed. Like, there's way higher risk than that. Walking down the street can be more risky than in the wrong area of the world. Getting a drink, smoking, doing drugs, also a lot of stuff. Yet people seem fine with that.
Yeah.
You know, tattoos, at least, do something positive. It's been proven by several social scientists by now, studies over several decades by now as well, that they have a positive effect on our sense of self, which can feed into all sorts of other stuff as we feel more confident and more capable. And as again, as the doctors and the scientists said in the article I had published in Inc. recently, they feel more capable of doing a better job because they can be themselves. You
Yeah.
know, and in your case, it's up to you if you still want to talk about it. But for example, with alcohol, so many people drink.
Yeah.
And I'm not arguing against it. I don't drink often, but I do drink. But that's more harmful to me than when I get a tattoo.
Yeah.
And it does nothing for my sense of self.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a very long history of drinking
Mm,
and using. So like we were talking a little bit before, I have a couple pieces of mine, like a couple tattoo pieces that like kind of signify my sobriety. And
yeah.
like I'll show you. So on my hand, I have a lotus on my
Mm.
hand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Mm.
the lotus to me, Bruce, sorry, my dog. But the lotus to me, so they
That's
grow in
okay.
like the deepest, darkest, murkiest waters, and ultimately, like they bloom and like
Mm,
they bloom when they rise to the top. And it's kind of like an indication of like, sometimes we got to go through some dark shit, but ultimately we can blossom in the end. And it's just kind of a
mm,
like a good reminder that we're not always like we might think we're pieces of shit, but that doesn't make us a piece of shit. And then something my mom told
mm,
me when I was growing up when I was going through my drinking and using phase is like you might feel like a piece of shit, but some of the most beautiful, bountiful flowers grow from piles of shit. So like that being
very
said, and
true.
it's true.
Absolutely. I mean,
And it's kind of a reminder of like sometimes we go through shit and we just need to get through the dark times and ultimately rise above. So yeah, sobriety is like a huge part of my life today. And yeah, it's really cool.
but that's the thing, like that tattoo. I mean, there's lots of stuff we could get into with that, all positive. But one of the main things to just to try and not using it, what I was saying before, that does so much for you in helping you and reminding you, and also reclaiming your sense of self. Because any form of addiction, when you look at it from a social scientific point or a psychological point, can cause you to lose sense of who you are
Yeah,
due to whatever you are using at the time. And this is also a way of anchoring who you want to be and who you see yourself as truly
yeah,
after coming out on the other side, so to speak. And that does way more for you than the alcohol did. Yet some people we can talk to out there would be way more fine with you still drinking a lot as a young woman. I want to say
yeah,
uh, than you getting tattooed, which just seems backwards to me
yeah,
because it's way more dangerous to do the other thing, especially when you have been through addiction.
yeah. I will say I have saved so much more money by not drinking that I'm able to afford
That's
tattoos.
awesome.
Now I can
Yeah,
pay for them.
that is one reason why I might actually stop permanently at some point because I don't drink often and it does save me a lot of money that can go towards
Yeah.
tattoos and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Mm.
spending about on average, like I'd say like $300 a week on booze, maybe even more. So like if you do the math, like that's like $1,200. That's like $1,200 a month. $1,200 will purchase
Fucking
a
hell.
tattoo. I mean, I don't know what they charge
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Scotland,
that'll
but
do. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but here it's
No, I
about
mean,
like 800 to 12.
in Denmark, $400. Yeah, that'll cover a fairly okay tattoo. I think if you go to the right place, yeah, I think $400 will. I'm trying to convert it correctly in my head, but I'm actually struggling a bit at the moment.
400
We have a
for like a
no
big tattoo or like a
$400. No, that'll be a fairly medium tattoo.
okay.
$400.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe not even. Maybe not even. I mean, depends on the artist. Like it'll be a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours. That you
Yeah.
can get for $400. I think. I mean, again, I'm converting this in my head, so it could be completely wrong. I can't remember the exact exchange rate at the moment between the
Right.
dollar and our Danish crown. Uh, but yeah, in Scotland, I mean, they have the pound, so that converts a bit more evenly. 400 quid can get you something like this if
Yeah.
you, depending on the artist again. But yeah,
Yeah.
but normal hours license, that's still a tattoo. Like
Yeah,
you go out and
exactly.
start something, you can get, and
Yeah.
again, it has a
Tattoo
it
or
needs to be
booze. I
reflexively
mean,
done. Yeah, I mean, I know what I would pick, to be honest, but I mean, I'm very biased there.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
reason I'm not getting inked all the time is just because I'm such a fucking collector these days that most artists I want to get done by are far away, and I don't have money for a plane ticket at the moment.
Oh, for sure. I'm kind of a psychopath. Like I will fly to my tattoo artist to
Mm.
get tattooed because I refuse to
Mm.
go to anyone else. And I feel like
I
with
love
my
that.
tattoo artist, like I've been going to him for so long that I feel like I'm cheating on him now. Like if I go to anyone else. Like I got like a little piece done by a different tattoo artist recently. And
Yeah.
I even told him, I was like, I feel like I'm cheating on you. And he was like, how dare you? You know, like you build that like
Tell him.
that personal relationship with your
Yeah,
tattoo
yeah.
artist that if you go with anyone
I
else, you're
used to
like,
be
I'm
like that. I
so
used to be like that.
sorry.
Yeah. I used to be like that before I turned 20, and I had like free tattoos, something like that.
hmm
And then I went to England and I got a student discount at a local tattooer when I was doing my undergrad degree in England. And I couldn't help myself at that time. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna cover my body anyway, so I'm gonna get these two. Like he wanted to practice some color, and I got some not too great colorful tattoos done by him on the shoulders. Never regretted them because it's part of the thing, part of the
Yeah.
fun. But soon this time, it's like, yes. Then I came home to Denmark during the summer break, and and my tattooer was like, "Who fuck did this on you?"
I mean,
For a
you've got to
moment, I was
learn
like,
somehow, right?
yeah, absolutely. Nowadays, I collect a bit more
Yeah.
different places, different artists, stuff like that. Not too much. I'm piss poor and have been for a while, but when I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you found yourself becoming like a tattoo snob? Like, where you like examine other people's
Yeah,
tattoos?
but that came with researching it and working for magazines and going to too many conventions and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
not as I will say this, I also got out of it again to some extent because the thing is, I have way more value. For example, with your tattoos, that there's even if some of them are meaningless, I like saying quotation marks,
Yeah.
they mean something to you, and I see them, and you feel a meaning in being tattooed. It is important to your sense of self,
Yeah.
and I respect that a lot more as well today. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be honest if people ask me about, oh, how well do you think this was made? I'll give my opinion, but I won't ever bash anybody that gets a tattoo that's remotely reflexive. Like,
Yeah.
even if it's just that you love the art, I only bash people when they go out and be like getting tattooed by that weird guy in Switzerland, but it's like, oh, we got the shade of this tree and we just inked you outside without gloves or anything. That's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not good. You will regret it.
Yeah.
From an
Yeah.
expert, you will regret it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I
But
feel the same way.
other than
Like
that, man,
I will never talk poorly about anyone else's art because that is their art. That it's what makes them happy.
yeah,
Like it's not my place to say my own opinion. You know, like I'm the
yeah,
type of person that like if someone like my sister, for example, my sister, she has tattoos that are just not my style, right? Like I don't hate
yeah.
them, but
No, I
I
get
also
that
don't
too.
love them. Like they make her happy and I love that for her, you know, but like she'll be like, "Oh, look at this tattoo." And I'll be like, "That's great,
Ma-
Amanda. Like I
massive
love that for
lettering
you."
across her forehead. Like,
I mean, when it gets to that point, I mean, I might have to say something like,
like, please, sis, please. Like,
yeah, yeah, like anywhere else but the forehead. Like,
I'm not just to be honest. Now that we're down these like these fun stories, I'm also as I said, I do give honest opinions when asked about them. And a girl, when I was living in Glasgow a few years back, did ask me. I saw her have, like, the style some do, especially in the alternative community, where they want them to look faded and stuff like that. She had lots of that shit down her arms. not my thing, but I just said, hey, this plant, cool, awesome for you. Because she was like, this, or do you want to see the tattoo I regret actually? And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And to me, asking that because I was tipsy meant, oh, you get to critique it.
Hmm.
So she shows me this David Bowie tattoo, and it was done weirdly enough with a colored lightning, but it was just done outline and that style, like very simple.
Yeah.
And the way they did the silver thing moon he had here, that was all glitter and that in the picture, was just like a line and then dots. So I accidentally said, "Why does he have a tumor in his forehead?" It just lost him. And it was just, you know, a drunken, honest moment, and it was just like, you know, what she regretted, weirdly enough, she said, she told me before she told me to fuck off, was the lightning bit. She didn't want the color anyways. She's
Yeah.
just like, oh, fuck.
Oh no,
It's like,
dude.
it's not I've never, like, I'm very honest when I want to be, but I don't purposefully go out and be like, oh, what a shit tattoo you have there.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
if you
exactly.
ask me, and it's like, but that did get me into, like, that did get me cussed out by a Scottish woman.
Yeah.
She's just like, yeah, that was, but yeah, fuck me. It was not my proudest moment, but I had a laugh with it. And the laughing moment was that they started talking to me because they saw I had this, because I was wearing a flannel with a tank top. And like, oh, that's so cool. After they got pissed at me, we're like, that's such a tacky fucking tattoo. Fuck off, you boom. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's
just like
funny.
completely out of left field. It's just like it blows my mind that people are so like so quick to just
Yeah.
be assholes. You know, like they take one
Yeah.
look at
I
you
mean,
and like to have the audacity to just
yeah.
come up to a stranger and be like, your tattoos are shit. Like, who the fuck do you
Yeah.
think you are?
But that's the fun thing, right? But I mean, bringing us back to the topic at hand, that happens. I mean, I've seen it personally when I've been out of the nightlife myself and hung out at conventions and other ways I've been with tattooed people. And I would imagine you might have felt this in your own body. People feel much more obligated to do that sort of bullshit towards tattooed women than tattooed men.
Yeah,
And it's not because, oh, they can beat me up. Because I used to be very skinny and it still didn't happen to me back then. It's more the whole misogyny thing, I would argue as a sociologist. That they just feel this entitlement and they're like, oh, you ruined your body. Now I don't want to have sex with you. And it's like, good, fuck off then.
yeah, yeah. Then like don't then please like move the fuck on, you know?
Like, literally, go fuck yourself. Go home, find the lube, fuck yourself.
Literally go fuck yourself. Yeah.
Because that's what it boils down to. And the other part of it is, which I think is more important, very, very important to say with, for example, with your Lotus tattoo and the other tattoos you have that are tied into your sobriety, which is a great assistance for you and you love having them, but it's also something tied into a form of trauma, I would argue, because of the experience that leads up to it. And anybody coming in then and just unprovoked being like, oh, what the fuck do you have a lotus flower in your hand? That's so shit. That's also digging into that. That's
Yeah.
also why it should stop, because people can't know without talking to somebody what's the story behind that tattoo.
Yeah. And you're gonna really strike a nerve with someone if you like insult something so
Yeah.
like deep to them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, even if it's deep in the other way, even if it's something positive, even if it's something, a memorial piece or just a thing that reminds you of somebody that got you through a rough time once,
Yeah.
or whatever, or it can strike a nerve because why the fuck do you come up judging me for something I did that I feel really happy about and it's really positive for how I see myself, and now because you don't like tattoos, you're coming up calling me a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, well, I don't like clean, clean canvas men. Fuck you. Like, like, but that doesn't
Listen,
excuse the
that's such a
point.
bad point. I have no, I've actually never had somebody coming up and be like, "Oh, that is disgusting. You have those tattoos." I've had women be like, "Oh, I don't like guys with tattoos," but never had them be like, "Fuck you, you ruined your body, you fucking sicko." You know, but it happens the other way. I've never seen women go up to some really chatted smoke show and be like, "Hey, fuck you for ruining that fucking your abs with that stomach piece."
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Like, I just don't know why.
I would
Like,
love to see that in like a comedy movie. Like I would love to see that role reversed in like a skit. Just that if there was any film idea I will happily give you, that's you reversing that with some tattooed guy
yeah.
going up be like, you for ruining your body.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just gave me a video idea.
I mean, I'm always happy to inspire, but it's a great point. I mean, we might be laughing at it, but it is an extremely valid point. It doesn't happen in the other direction.
Yeah.
Nor, which is another point you sort of made inadvertently, does it happen that, like, for example, you and me probably share the fact that we like tattooed bodies,
Yeah.
also for the people we want to spend time with. I've never gone up to someone and be like, "What? You don't have tattoos?" Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like, ooh.
Like, what are you doing, man? Where is your money going?
Yeah. It's like, oh, you must have a shit personality because you don't know what pain is. Like, I don't know.
Like, fuck, what does your car look like? Shit.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't like looking at bare skin. Like,
It's a valid point to point out because people, I mean, this is not just for women, but people feel this ownership of you often as soon as you stray from the norm. Whether it's fashion, the way you dress, whether it's the way you carry yourself, or indeed tattoos or piercings. As soon as you start differing from people see as the norm to some extent, and it can be very like tied to their own background, so it doesn't mean everybody, but a lot of people will be like this, sadly. They feel ownership and like they can comment or they can touch or they can fucking go and grab you and be like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Are you right in the head?"
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
1000%. I mean, like, people feel like if you put it on the put it out on the internet, like, they're allowed to comment and say like their point of view or their opinion, whether it be like highly negative or like positive. And it's like, well, then like I'll say something like, I didn't get tattoos to impress you. And they're like, well, you shouldn't put it on the internet or something like that. Or like, just like, they'll come back with like the most random flashback. So I think like, especially like with my outfits inspired by video, like the best like
Yeah.
formula is comedy and like humor,
Yeah.
because like, it's like, okay, cool. Like tattoos are trashy to you. I clearly don't give a fuck because still gonna put it on the internet and still gonna have that, still gonna have that sass.
Mm. But that's a great point as well because it's weird how people seem to think, and this is not. Some might be quick because with a lot of people, there's a lot of tension in the US at the moment. But I will sadly say this is not just Americans.
Yeah.
uh, a lot of people are quick to think freedom of speech means freedom of consequence. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from a social scientific perspective, it never did mean that. Or historical perspective, it means you are free to voice an opinion. You're not free to escape the consequences. It's not a like, oh, I'm touching wood right now, so you can't hurt me when I call you a cunt. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not
Exactly.
how it works. Uh,
That's not
and
how the
then
world works.
another part of it is that it's from a psychological perspective more. I mean, it's not my main purview, but I do dabble a little bit. Uh, there's a lot of insecurity in wanting to comment negatively on somebody like that. And it often comes from the fact that they want their worldview to be material reality in a strange sense. So voicing it becomes a key way of bringing it out there.
Yeah.
It's a desperation act in a sense because they are oftentimes aware that they are in the minority to some extent here
Yeah.
because most people, thank fuck, are not like that, but there are a fair few loud assholes that are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I will also mention they are mostly men, but I actually hate when women become, as we would call it in Denmark, goalkeepers for misogyny, where they go a little and go like, because that just feels like a bigger betrayal in a way. When a woman comes in and comments like, "Oh, Missy, you look disgusting with all those tattoos and like what you're doing to your body," it's like, are we not fighting for bodily autonomy for all of you? Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Like I've had people say that to me in the past, just like, oh, you'll never find a man because no man will settle down with trash like that. And I'm like, what? Like, what fucking world are you living in? First of all, like,
Yeah, I mean, it's
yeah,
blatantly untrue, but even if it were, I would love if you just turned around with like, "Thank you."
yeah,
That's awesome, actually.
yeah, yeah. My favorite is wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole with those tattoos, and it's like I don't know, just people
Great.
are just so they'll say the most off the wall canny shit, and it's like
And, and
it's all around tattoos.
it's so weird because most people that say that to sort of pull it back a bit to one of the points we talked about earlier, they never care to learn about tattoos or the stuff they do for us.
Hmm.
And especially for a lot of women today, it's a way of pushing back against the constant pressures to dress in a way that sort of, to put it bluntly, feeds into patriarchal norms of women's beauty standards and shit like that. And tattoos are a way of being like, no, fuck that. And especially in a world where most conservatives, sorry for anybody that, no, actually not sorry, I'm not a conservative. Fuck you guys. Um, that was just my over politeness coming out, and no, fuck it. But certainly in a world where a lot of conservatives especially want to go back to those standards, it's also a way of pushing back against that because they know they don't like tattoos. So it's a way of saying, hey, fuck those guys. I want this body to be me. I want to feel ownership over this. And
Yeah.
like the last guest I spoke with in this podcast as well, this sub series who'd been through sexual assault as well, a great point me and her also voiced was that it's also a way for you to regain ownership and control over your own sexualization. Instead of
Yeah.
just being sexualized by others, you sort of get to say, this is how I feel sexy. This is what I want to look like. This, I mean, and that can be very fucking healthy because it's
Yeah.
you saying how you want to be perceived in that way and
Yeah.
taking control of that to some extent.
Yeah. 1000%. Like I've always been naturally attracted to like heavily tattooed people in general. It just like it's like looking at a masterpiece or like like the great like the cathedrals or like the temples, they all have like that beautiful stained glass inside, and it's like I
Yeah,
just like it's like looking at art. Like it's
yeah.
just I don't know, I've always been
I mean,
naturally attracted to them.
to stay with the religious metaphor, preaching to the choir. To be honest,
Yeah. Your body is a temple, and it's like it like cuts to like the temples.
I
It's just-
always, I always love the irony of that one because we, especially since I mean, I'm a massive nerd, so if you didn't know this, happy to impart some knowledge here. But we in our lifetime, you and me, Missy, we found out that even the old temples were painted. It's
yeah.
just an aging thing that stripped the paint off, and other settlers like the Roman invasion of Greece, for example, where they painted over all the stuff with stuff that made it look white or stripped the painting of statues and temples and that. No, they used to be fucking colorful.
Yeah.
So it makes even less sense now, factually, to say, oh, you wouldn't paint a table. They fucking used to, mate. They
Like,
were painted.
yeah.
But have you been to a church? I mean, I'm an atheist. Even I have seen stained glass windows.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I went to where did I just recently go? So I went to Thailand, and I went to some
Yeah,
of the
all right.
the
I was
blue, I
about to
think
say, if you don't remember, we're fucked.
yeah, it was the Blue Temple specifically, and I remember walking inside and like
Oh,
looking
yeah.
up, and it's just like all painted, and it's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I was like, this
Mm.
is so sick. It's just yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, but I know I'm digressing a bit here, but it's a great and quite related point as well. That's the same way I felt when I saw the concrete buildings we got some places in Copenhagen when I was growing up, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" I mean, I'm not saying tag them, but some cool mural graffiti and stuff like that would be awesome right here because it's gray
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
slabs of concrete. Like, huh? You can't. To my mind, it's almost like nobody can tell me earnestly they prefer just to look at a gray flat surface than
right.
some beautiful art piece.
Exactly, exactly. Like I would much rather look at a
Maybe
beautiful
that's
art
the
piece.
test. Maybe that's how we figure out who dislikes tattoos from an early age. You stand a bunch of teenagers in front of a concrete wall, and the ones that like the concrete wall go down the route of not liking tattoos.
I'd be with the
That's how we'll
graffiti.
spot them when they're young. We just take them to a concrete wall and be like, would you prefer this painted? The ones that say no, yeah, we need to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also like it comes down to like a religious thing as well. Like don't quote me on this because I
Yeah.
I don't know jack shit about religion, but like I know from my experience, like when I went to Japan, for instance, they
Yeah.
wouldn't let me bathe in a seance because of my tattoos. You can't, because I think
Uh,
they associate heavily tattooed people with why am I blanking on the word?
Yakuza?
Um, no, the I am blanking on the
The Fae?
word. Akuza?
Yakuza.
Yeah, Akuza. Okay. Yeah, so it's like okay, so like for Japan, for instance, like today, like Some places
Yeah,
wouldn't let you in, like with
yeah,
tattoos. Um,
yeah.
I think also like
I mean, there are starting to be more places in Japan where you can get by even heavily tattooed. I know that from some Japanese tattoo artists I know, but it is still true. There are a lot of onsens and restaurants and all that stuff where you can't be visibly tattooed because of the connection to the cultural fear still of Yakuza
yes,
to some extent, and the prejudice there. But you did make a good point with the religious thing as well, because it's a difficult one to pin down. Because technically, all the three major religions textbooks could be interpreted to say no tattoos. Yet, as a historian pointed out to me, there's actually a passage in the Bible where it seems they describe a tattoo on Jesus's right thigh. So
interesting.
that's quite interesting. And yeah, that's where it gets difficult with religion because it's very much an interpretation thing. And being an atheist and a super nerdy sociologist, religion's often a way. Sorry to anybody religious, I might offend with this, but please take it with some grain of salt. Uh, Religion is often a way to control public opinion and cultural uh, diversion. So it's a way to say, hey, this is how you need to be because that's right with whatever imaginary friend we have up here. So many people that have wanted through history to control people often don't like diversity. They like people to be the same. Allowing people to tattoo themselves, not a good thing if you want people to be the same. So that's, I mean, this is not written anywhere like that, but it's my own personal view as a sociologist. I think it's very much a control thing from religion, from organized religion, often where they've outlawed tattooing from time to time.
Yeah,
Because the Catholic Church, for example, they changed opinions of it a couple of times.
yeah,
At one point, they wanted their crusaders to have tattooed crosses in their foreheads. Later on, they excommunicated all the ones that got those tattoos because they found it profane,
yeah,
because the Pope changed.
yeah, yeah,
You know, so it's difficult, but sadly, with a lot of conservatism, you see in more, for example, in your own home country with more evangelical religion, they more often than not go more towards the conservative route and be like, no, you can't get tattooed, you know,
yeah,
or at least not in the face or the hands or anything like that. So it becomes a bit more like the 90s with the job stoppers and shit like that, you know.
yeah,
But you do meet, I mean, ironically, again, Catholicism is probably one of the religions with the most tattooed believers. Like every other cunt out there, young man gets a fucking rosary around the wrist or something like that, you know.
yeah,
And sorry for the use of cunt there. That's a old wound from having lived in Scotland and Glasgow. So that's not meant in a derogatory term. That's just meant as a descriptor.
doesn't offend me. You're totally
No,
good.
no, I mean, I didn't think it offended you, offend anybody listening, and I'm
Oh,
not being
anyone
angry
listening
at
or
these people.
watching,
Yeah, I'm not being angry at people. I
quick
just
disclosure,
can't help but say it
yeah,
otherwise.
little disclaimer.
Yeah. It's a good point, though. But again, it comes together with other things we see tied into religion and conservative views, which is
Yeah,
also modesty for women and
yes,
piety and cleanliness and virtues and all that shit, which is all, as a matter of fact, what we would call socially constructed, which means that that's not something from nature that just goes in and says, no, this is what's virtue, or this is what's piety, or this is what's clean, or this, which is why, as a sociologist, I laugh a lot at women nowadays. I know Molly Hammond and your friend Mars both push back against this a lot as well. The
yeah,
clean girl aesthetic influences that
yes,
regret that suits. Because the first thing I laugh at, because this is how nerdy I am as a sociologist, is the fact of the matter that I can't see through the idea of being a clean girl, because it's a controlling term and it's very much socially constructed.
yeah,
There's absolutely nothing in the terminology that prevents you from having tattoos and calling yourself a clean girl. It can mean all sorts of shit. And being clean used to mainly be used in a vernacular of talking about drugs or alcohol or shit like that, you know.
yeah,
So it's just, it baffles me sometimes how people don't vet the terms they start using. Like they
right,
don't think about it. So it's just like, no, it's clean girl. You can be clean girl. Missy, you can be clean girl. Get rid of all those tattoos. No, you're more clean than most of the girls saying that because you don't do drugs or alcohol.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. It can mean so many different terms.
It's a funny thing, you know, because I can't remember who this was, but I did see an influencer at one point that was pointed out this as well. They're like, why can't you just enjoy the fashion and still have your tattoos? Why can't you just enjoy that dress sense if that's attractive to you and not regret your tattoos. It's very much a controlling thing. This, like, it's very much. I would be very baffled if anybody could truthfully. I think nobody would be able to persuade me that they're truly doing it just because they regret their tattoos. It's very much a control thing. And it's very much that they didn't get their tattoos at first for reasons like you and I would, where it's because you really love tattoos or because it means something to you or it helps you get over something or with healing post the trauma you've faced or my own trauma with bullying and stuff like that. They just got them because it was in fashion and quick fashion and tattoos don't mix, and now clean girl aesthetic is in, and then they regret them.
Hmm.
When you have a flimsy reason for getting tattoos, it'll be very easy to break your connection with them and get you to regret them.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Do you have any tattoos that you regret?
Not yet. Thank fuck for
Not
that.
yet. What a great answer.
Well, the thing is, this if we're gonna be very honest for a moment, there's this one, which is a very beautiful tattoo, but it's from my favorite manga. And the thing is, the author of it is not a good person. Now, and I don't enjoy his new stuff. So I'm very much treating it the same way somebody would a Harry Potter tattoo, that I'll keep it. Because originally I thought, oh, he'd been vindicated before I got this, because I didn't know of something early on. I thought, all right, he's vindicated. Then I learned this year that he was actually vindicated as such, and it was much worse than initially thought. So, I don't regret it as such, even though it's horrible what the author did. But if there's one that would be close to it, would be that one. But it's not because of the craftsmanship. It's that beautiful tattoo. What about
Yeah.
you? Now that you open this Pandora's box, what do you regret any?
Let me think. I don't have any tattoos that I regret. I did have two cover-up tattoos. Uh,
All right.
so yeah, so it wasn't that I regretted them, it's just I didn't like the placement. I didn't like the person who tattooed them.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, so
That's
I got it
different.
reworked.
That's different. Yeah. No, it worked.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. But I would say that's a different kind of regret. I mean, shit, man. You see people like, if you know of him, the guy, the tattoo journalist Yalse from Puerto Rico. I mean, he's gone over the same bodysuit 3 times. There's not because he regrets any of his tattoos. He just wants to keep evolving this bodysuit as his project. Same with a guy called Remy up from I can't remember which part of Canada, sadly, right now, but he's from Canada. He's also done the same bodysuit countless times. It's not because he regrets any of the work. He just wants to keep seeing how many layers he can go through.
Yeah. Yeah, keep reimagining it. Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, whereas this is also, in a sense, as well, as you said, you don't like one of the people that did it. But that's also taking ownership back of your body because it can very much, I imagine, I mean, I know from having researched tattoo regret, feel quite horrible to have a reminder of somebody you dislike, and then you sort of start uh, disassociating with that part of your body that the tattoo might be on, or start disliking it, and that creates a disconnect. So the way to heal that disconnect is get rid of the tattoo by covering it up or something else.
Yeah. 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 Reimagining it into something else. Improving.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that turns it back into positive.
Yeah.
At least as I see it. And I think that's a great point you put across as well in this episode. And I've kept you for a while now as well.
Yeah, you're totally fine.
it's a, it's it, it's a great point you put across in this, mainly just by being your lovely self, that people don't know. So why are they so quick to judge? And
Yeah.
in your case, your tattoos have even been part of your. I mean, we've got into it a bit. Even been part of your healing of refining yourself after struggling with addiction. And yet, it just seems so much more the shame as well that people just would come and be quite horrible to you
Yeah.
just because you've made that choice. Quite a positive choice as well if people care to learn about it.
Hmm.
But I think that's the main problem. People don't care to learn about it. People don't care to learn about other people generally. It's quite one of the biggest problems with people in general in our day and age is laziness. We don't
Yeah.
care much anymore. Like, even though it doesn't take much time. Like it took me, I think, 2 minutes to scroll. Not even 2 minutes. Like less than a minute, maybe scrolling down your page and learning just that much to ask you enough about, like, hey, are you okay with talking about this? It was barely any. Like, I'm not gonna lie and make it seem like I did fucking days and hours of researching Missy before inviting her on the podcast. No, it didn't take long, and that's my point exactly. You're not. But another point I also made in the last episode I did in this sub series: you're not owed the story, but you
Mhm.
can ask. Like it's up to Missy, for example, if she wants to tell you why she has a lotus on her hand. She's not obliged to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's up to you, and if you feel okay sharing that in that moment and with that person, but people should still not just come up and be like, "Oh, fuck you! You have to do this." That just needs to stop. If I can stop something, it's that. It's with
Yeah.
anything really, but also with tattoos.
No, I totally agree.
It's
I
just
totally
such a.
agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
But I mean, I think what you're doing exactly shows that. Just to tie a nice knot on some of the points you made. I think that's what the humor does in a way, because it's very difficult to maintain that pissed off and angry momentum when next thing you see the woman you pissed off dresses up as the hot dog you call on a treadmill and just takes the piss out of you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you really can't get under my skin, you know? Like, and that's one thing I've taken some serious ownership over is like it
Not
takes,
without a tattoo machine.
huh?
That was just a bad joke. You said you can't get under my skin, and I just, as a bad joke, said not without a tattoo machine.
Not without a tattoo machine. Yeah. That was a horrible joke, but I will laugh anyways.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Sorry. You forced me to retell it just about when you reacted. I felt so embarrassed retelling that.
That's great. I hope someone clips that later.
Oh, fuck all clips, anything I ever say.
But yeah, I mean, like,
If anybody wants to clip that, if anybody wants to clip me, I do remind you there's a juicy clip of Missy waiting earlier in this episode where she talks about her relationship to pain.
yes, yes, I do.
On
But
that
yeah,
note, we've actually had a great time. So many episodes this happens, but I will say it anyways because I've just trained myself to do it now. But I like to wind down by getting silly, which seems redundant in this episode because we've been goofing off the entire time.
yeah.
So this is more for my own personal curiosity and own mega bias that I'm asking this, and I'll do it from the questions actually. So I have the privilege of having you on, my favorite weather girl of all time, I must say.
Oh.
When are we getting a weather report from Copenhagen?
Oh my God. Soon. I listen, I want to go to Copenhagen so bad. So I swear the next time I'm
Can I
there, I'm
be the
definitely gonna do a
cameraman
weather
for that
report.
weather report?
Yeah, you can definitely expect a weather report from Copenhagen. Probably coming sometime next summer.
I will insist on coming and being the cameraman if there's a weather report for Copenhagen.
Oh, absolutely. I will let you know. Coming
Oh
at you
man. Then
live.
you'll find out I'm actually only 5 feet tall. No, I'm short for a Danish guy, but that still makes me 6 feet.
You're short for a Danish guy at 6 feet. God damn.
Average height. Average height. To digress more than we've done at any point during this episode, I have been told several times when I used to go on dating apps that I'm too short to date by women in Denmark.
Too tall to date?
No, too short to date
Too
by
small.
women in Denmark.
Oh, too
Yeah, because
small.
I'm yeah
Interesting.
too short, you know. So like there are women out there, at least back then when I used to be on Tinder, that were like, no, I don't want to date men that are under 6'3" or 6'4". Like it's just, all right,
L-
fair enough.
Listen, I don't discriminate. I love me a short king, okay? Like,
That's the only discriminating factor.
yeah. Listen, short king all the way.
I mean, then you're just gonna show the commitment anyone interested in Missy by getting tattoos.
Yeah, yeah.
Good tattoos though. That's,
Love the tattoos.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Let before we start a whole other episode on who we want to hit on,
Listen, if I can clone
which I think that's
myself and
best.
fuck myself, I would.
Honestly, to me at least, and this is gonna sound so weird to a lot of guys, especially listening to this, that's so hot to me. Anybody being that confident, to be honest.
I'm not saying it to be like a narcissistic asshole. I'm just saying like heavily
I
tattooed,
no,
dark hair,
I
light eyes.
absolutely get it. But that's
Like,
fucking hot, to be honest. Still,
Just clone myself and fuck myself. Plus, I have a great personality. Like, oh my God, who wouldn't want to date me? Just kidding. A little crazy, but
Well, absolutely fantastic personality. And on that note, I've absolutely loved having you on this podcast.
oh, thank you
Trust
so
me.
much for
I
having
mean,
me. This has been an absolute blast.
I sound like a broken record, but thank you so much for coming on. Really enjoyed this.
Anytime, anytime. This is
And
great.
and uh, and though you need it way less than I would, it's only fair. Would you please plug yourself and what you have going on?
Say that question again.
Oh, sorry, it must have cut out. I just said even though it's probably not needed because of how awesome and famous you are. Technically, it's only fair. Would you please plug yourself and what you have going on and where people can find you and all that?
Oh, okay. So I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Threads, fucking all of them. Yeah, same. It's the same
I'll need to
username.
ask you for links to put in.
It's the same username, MISSS underscore MISSY on like all of my platforms. Like you'll be able to find me. But Instagram is
Nice.
probably the easiest. You could type in probably just like weather report Los Angeles in like the search handle and I'll probably show up. I don't even know.
If there's a brunette screaming at you in the video, that's Missy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking for CNN to hire me.
I mean, that would make me watch CNN, and I'm not. It doesn't do anything that has to do with Denmark, and I would still watch it if that's still relevant. Just to think about how the usual viewers re reacting to this.
Yeah, yeah. That or like Grand Theft Auto 6. Like put me on the radio. I don't know, man.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's,
so you
I've been trying to get in
that
touch
would
with Grand
actually.
Theft Auto 6.
I mean, for if anybody, if the astronomical by the astronomical chance that anybody that works in that game watches or listens to this, put Missy in the Grand Theft Auto 6 game.
Listen. Give me
She
a
would
radio
fit
station
right
on
in.
Grand Theft Auto.
Well, on that note, to anybody listening in, first of all, thank you once again, Missy. And to anybody listening in or watching, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right, sounds good.
Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was an absolute joy, as you might be able to tell, having Missy on the podcast. And I feel like she had a lot of important experiences to share, not just regarding her own journey with sobriety and how tattoos have played into helping her with that, which is also an incredible thing for her to share and awesome of her to be vulnerable and wanting to share that on the podcast. But also the rest we talked about with how women, especially women that are very present on the internet in this day and age, can feel a lot of pressure to conform or feel a lot of hatred for whether they're conforming or not for their appearance. So tattoos can indeed be a way of reclaiming this bodily autonomy, ownership, and a sense of an authentic self, and also in a way of wearing a kind of armor in a sense towards all this hate you might get just for being a woman on the internet, to put it very simply. But yeah, all in all, I hope you loved this episode. It will be the last one of this year, outside of a New Year's special, which might be a personal episode with just me, very brief one, maybe 20, 30 minutes, that I'll publish before New Year's, where I recap the year and talk a bit about where I expect the podcast to go next year. And it'll be well on the way on its third year running. So yeah, uh, thank you very much for all your support this year. And I hope you enjoyed the episode, like I said, and I'll see you guys around.